Alright, so today we're going to be replacing the spark plugs on this 2000 Volvo S70. I just did the timing belt on it a few days ago, and then it developed a misfire. All these coils have been replaced except for this one. We have the replacement one for this coil, but we're gonna wait until it goes out. We've kind of just been replacing them as they go because there's no sense in just doing them all at the same time when it's only 8 bolts to remove the top cover, and these are just held on each with 1 10mm bolt. So we're gonna remove all the 10 mils that hold all these coils on, and then we can just flop them out of the way and get our spark plugs installed. The spec for the spark plugs is 18 foot-pounds for the torque, and the gap is 0.75 millimeters or 30 thousandths of an inch. So I'll go ahead and remove these now. And the reason why we're doing this is just preventative maintenance. The car every so often will develop a slight miss, and that's when we would replace the coils, and it seemed to take care of it. This car has also had the PCV system, looks like it was replaced with actually a copper pipe instead of the plastic one that gets plugged up, so we never had that issue. The only things that we've really done to this car is replace the water pump, timing belt. I did the radiator, and then just some suspension components and a couple switches inside. It's been a great car. I've had it for 3 years now. So we'll just remove the coils just like this. Actually, before we do this, I'm going to blow off all the debris quickly first, and then we'll start removing them. And so once you have those 10mm bolts out, you can just pop them off. Alright, so now we're going to gap the spark plug, and we're just using some Champion RC9YC spark plugs. This is what the manufacturer calls for on this Volvo, and the gap is 0.030. If you're using iridium spark plugs with a very small tip to the spark plug, please do not gap the plugs or you will actually break the tip off. And we're just going to double check the gap. So this is a little bit large, so we'll just bring the gap in just a tiny bit, and using this tool you're just gonna go like so, and then you just want to do it until it fits just like this. See, not too tight, but it goes in with some resistance. Alright, so now we're just gonna take our ignition coils, set them to the side. See, that one actually came apart. That's no big deal. Just pull this boot out. Just like so. There's a little spring in there. That's what makes contact. You can just set that to the side. It's probably gonna happen on all of these because they are just like a no-name ignition coil. They work fine though. Some of them have been in the vehicle for 2 years. And if you look too, all you do is this little notch here lines up with that, so that's how you know where they go. Yeah, it's gonna happen on all of them, of course. So that is a little bit of corrosion starting or something. Alright, so we're just going to use our 16mm or 5/8 spark plug socket. It has a rubber tip inside so it grips the spark plug, and a 3/8 ratchet with an extension. And you're going to want to just loosen them off by hand, get a feel for it, because you do not want to break or strip the spark plugs off in the cylinder head, and you're going to want to do that for each one of the spark plugs. Alright, so now you're going to take your gap spark plug and start it by hand, just like this. And you can either thread it in all the way by hand, or you can use your ratchet. Just be sure to torque the threads, or the actual spark plug, sorry, to 18 foot-pounds. Okay, so now that we've got all the spark plugs snug in the cylinder head, we're just going to torque them to 18 foot-pounds. That's what the torque spec is for this 2000 Volvo S70 with the 2.4 liter naturally aspirated engine. And then they're torqued. Once you hear that click, that tells you that the plug is now torqued, and now you can move on and do each one of the cylinders. Alright, so this part is optional. You have some dielectric grease. You can see there is a spark plug there. You don't have to do this, but it helps out in the next time to help in removing the coils, and also prevents any carbon tracing or arcing, side arcing you may have. That's when you see lines coming down the porcelain of the plug. That's actually the arc is jumping from the spark plug end of the electrode to the grounding point. You can see this plug actually has some rust on it, so that might have been the one giving us issues. I'm not sure how water would get in there. Definitely not coolant, because coolant has a lot of corrosion inhibitors, but water would do something like that. So you take your ignition coil and you just put a very light, small amount like that on the end, and then when you install it, it'll make its way around, and that's it with the dielectric grease. Alright, so to install the coil, you're just going to take it and install it center to the spark plug, and it's just going to sit in there like that. You're just going to tighten these 10mm bolts here to 6 foot-pounds or 10 Newton-meters, so very light torque on those. Alright, so now we'll just start up the car, listen to it, and replace this cover. It's just 8 bolts. It's very easy to do. There you go, doesn't miss a beat. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Like I said, it's just 8 screws to remove these 2 covers. Couple clips on the side. It's pretty easy to do. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. Bye bye.